And what's going on, everybody? And this is Danny, and today I'm going to be looking at the HTC 8XT, and I'm going to unbox this thing and give you some hands-on time with it. And Sprint hasn't been very big on Windows Phone 8, but they're going to release 2 this summer, and this is one of 2, obviously. And thank you for Sprint for sending out the review unit, and let's go ahead and get started. This is the HTC 8XT, and it is now available for $99 on a 2-year contract on the Sprint network. And this is the first Windows phone on the Sprint network in a very long time. But make no mistake, this is a mid-ranger. This is a 1.4 gigahertz dual-core processor device with 1 GB of RAM. So let's go ahead and open this thing and see what comes in the box. And of course you're greeted with the device, and it only comes in this California blue color, which is two-tone, which I think is kind of nice looking. And let's see what else comes in the box. And you will get this little pouch here, and when you open this pouch you will get your let's get started information and warranty information, which is probably going to go right back in the box. And you also get a recycle bag for your old flip phone if that's what you have. Dual HTC stickers here, and you also get this corn starch bag, which is really friendly for the environment, which is awesome. And here is the wall plug, and here is the micro USB to USB cord. I know that took pretty long, didn't it? And here are some earbuds, and these are some good earbuds, by the way. These have your little controller on them, and these are the same earphones that came with the HTC One, and these are very good, by the way. So nice inclusion. So nothing else comes in the box, and what are we waiting for? Let's get some hands-on time with it. So let's go ahead and take off the plastic wrap, and there is the device, and it looks very nice, by the way. This looks like the 8S actually that came out last year, and it kind of had a little baby here with the HTC 8X, and it has that same nice rounded feel and that awesome rubberized texture on the back. So there is the 4.3 inch screen with a little bit of a low resolution, which I'm a little bit disappointed about, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. And let's go over the hardware right now. So on the right hand side you will see the volume rocker up and down switch, and right there you will see the 2-stage camera shutter key, which is always nice on Windows phones. And on the bottom there's a micro USB. And on the other side you see absolutely nothing, just smooth, nice rubberized feel. And up top you will see the 3.5mm headphone jack, and you will see the same power button there that you saw on the 8X. And interestingly, on the back you get a chrome plate here, and that also houses the 8-megapixel backside illuminated sensor with LED flash, and you will also see a noise cancelling microphone. Love it or hate it, Beats Audio is on board. And on the bottom you'll see a very familiar layout. You have a back button, a Microsoft home button, and you have the search button. And on the bottom you'll also see one of 2 boom sound speakers. And up top you will see the other boom sound speaker, which also doubles as a earpiece and your appropriate sensors. And let's not forget this 1.6 megapixel wide angle front facing camera for all you selfie lovers out there. So maybe the wide angle will make the selfies look better? Probably not. So let's talk about the back plate on this thing. And the back plate is removable, but man is it hard to get off of there. And when you finally get this thing off, you expect to see the battery. Nope. You just get a blue plate, and there is NFC though, but no battery. It's 1800 milliamps, non-removable, and all you'll see is the SIM card slot and the micro SD card slot. But great with the micro SD card slot though, this thing only has 8 GB of internal storage, so you can boost it up to 64 GB more though if you buy an SD card. But putting this thing back together, man, I found it hard too. It just didn't line up really well, so don't take this back plate off. Just put the micro SD card in there and just don't take this thing off ever again, and just go on with your life and all is well. So you're probably thinking halfway through the video and you haven't even booted this thing up. So let's go ahead and boot this thing, and there is the 480 by 800 screen, which is kind of disappointing for today's standards. I'm very surprised they did not port over the 720p screen from the HTC 8X. That would have made more sense. The specs can hold it. I'm a little baffled here, but anyway, there is the Sprint logo, and it did take a little long time to boot up, and I'm just saving a minute of your time. So let's go ahead and bring over the flagship right now, which is on AT&T, but this is the Nokia Lumia 1020, which is the big dog Windows Phone right now with the 41 megapixel camera. And actually the HTC is about the same height as it, much thinner though, but it's just not as wide. So there is a good size comparison there. And here is the iPhone 5. And of course the iPhone 5 is smaller than pretty much anything out there, but here is a good comparison of what the iPhone 5 looks like compared to the HTC 8XT. Alright, so if you didn't know, this thing runs Windows Phone 8. And it's very familiar to anybody that's used the Windows Phone 8 device, but the HTC interface has a little bit of a difference here. There's that clock widget, and of course you have the HTC Hub, and you have a few things here that are different. Sprint Music, Sprint TV, so you do have some carrier bloat on here as well, but you can always get rid of those if you want to. And there are a few different things here that you will see, but not much different from your normal Windows Phone 8 experience. But the one thing I found interesting here is the different HTC camera modes. So let's go ahead and take a look at the new HTC camera software here. And if you hit the two-stage shutter key, it'll take you exactly to the regular Windows Phone camera UI. And very simplistic, very easy to use, and not a whole lot of things that you can do with it, but it does have some options there. But let's go ahead and open the HTC camera, and let's go ahead and accept this or whatever this is. And it looks much more like the Sense 5 interface here, and it's got some filters, which is nice, so a little bit of extra functionality. And what I do like is that there is a separate video and camera key that you see here on the right hand side. So this is very nice, so you don't have to sit there and toggle in between them, and if you hold them down then you get burst shot as well. So this is capable of taking burst shots, so if you like fast action or want to do those cool little stitch shots, then you can do it. So digging into the menu as well, you can see that there is a little bit more settings here that you can mess with. So if you're a photog and you really like doing this stuff, and you know, I think you're going to enjoy this a little bit more than your stock camera UI, which is nice. So I'm going to definitely be playing with this camera and do a lot of shots with it, and I'll make a separate video for you to enjoy on the camera quality. So nothing really new on the software front. Some multitasking. Holding down the Microsoft button will get you voice search, and that little search button over there will take you to Bing. But what about this screen? Are you a little concerned about it? I mean, the colors are very nice, and actually it looks pretty good. The typography of Windows Phone 8 always looks good, even on lower resolution screens. But if you look close, you can definitely see the pixels though, and coming from a Lumia 1020, man, can you really tell the difference. Now, the awesome inclusion are these two front-facing stereo speakers, which are called Boom Sound speakers, and they're not as big as the HTC One speakers, but how do they sound? Let's find out.
What's up, everybody, and this is Danny. Today, I'm going to be looking at iOS 7, the newly released operating system by Apple, and this time I'm going to demonstrate it on the iPod Touch 5th generation. For most people have been demonstrating it on the iPhone 5, but it also is available for the iPod Touch. So
the speakers sound pretty good. I mean, they're definitely not as loud as the HTC One speakers, but they sound pretty good on first inspection. So what do you guys think about the HTC 8XT? Are you guys on Sprint right now and you've been craving a Windows Phone, and is this the one for you? Do you have a lot of questions about it? Well, you know, hit me on Twitter and let me know what you want to see on the full review, or leave your comments in the comment section below and I'll do my best to answer them. And subscribe to my channel today, and please give me a thumbs up and follow me on Twitter at Super Scientific. Hope to see you in the next video.